This is a steal for the San Francisco Giants, as they have reportedly shown interest in one of the most desirable arms on the trade market, who is only supposed to make $8 million this upcoming season. We'll be breaking it down here on SF Giants. Now, before we get into the news today, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. When you download Kalshi in the link below and enter code DIGESTMLB, you'll get $20 when you trade your first $100. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the United States, and on their platform you can trade yes or no on real-life events such as sports, elections, and news. Whether you're in California, Texas, or anywhere else across the country, Kalshi is live in all 50 states. For sports fans, trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, or player performances, all on a regulated market where you can cash out at any time. For example, the NFL playoffs going on. Unfortunately, our San Francisco 49ers did get eliminated, but prior to the elimination, they had a 4% chance on Kalshi to win the Super Bowl. You can check out all of the updated NFL and national championship predictions on Kalshi.com right now. It is genuinely a smarter way to use your sports or news knowledge, and you can close positions whenever you want. Download Kalshi with the link in the description, and don't forget to use code DIGESTMLB to get your $20 bonus. Thank you once again for Kalshi for sponsoring this video. Now, back to the San Francisco Giants news. Today, we are talking about some recent reports that continue a theme that we've heard through the majority of the offseason, and that is about the Giants' interest in Freddy Peralta. Now, this is from Jon Heyman 2 days ago, saying the Brewers continue to field offers on ace pitcher Freddy Peralta, a free agent after 2026, meaning whoever's trading for this guy is only going to get 1 year of control of the elite right-handed pitching. Said the Yankees, the Mets, Dodgers, the Giants, and Braves among many, many interested teams. His $8 million salary means anyone can afford him, including the Brewers, but extensions may be tougher for smaller markets. Now, when you're talking about what teams can afford an extension, you really do think about the top 4 teams he mentions here. The Yankees absolutely can do it. The Mets, the Dodgers, of course. The Giants can do this. Now, it remains to be seen if they're willing to do this. We know they don't love paying pitchers over a long period of time. But Freddy Peralta seems as one of the safest options to do so that is available right now via trade or free agency. The Braves are mixed in there. They love their arms. So there is a lot of interest surrounding this right-handed pitcher who finished in the top 5 in National League Cy Young finishing this past season. So we know he is an elite starting pitcher, and he's going to bolster the top of whatever rotation he gets sent to before the start of the 2026 season. Now, a lot of people are saying the Giants never do anything. We know nothing's going to happen, but we do know that they've been extremely aggressive on the trade market so far this year, despite a move not being made. Now, Robert Murray on the Fan-Sided Baseball Insiders podcast said, "I'd be surprised if the Giants don't make a trade. I'm curious to see who it is, but they seem pretty intent on getting some reinforcements here." Now, we know they've been ultra aggressive on the second base market, which to me is a bit surprising. I put out a tweet yesterday saying that I think right field is the much bigger problem, and that should be the priority. But understandably, second base is technically a hole with no one being certain there in terms of production. Casey Schmidt is the highest one right now, but it does make sense they're looking to upgrade that position. But however, we do know they've been extremely aggressive trying to figure out a way to bring some talent into San Francisco, some bona fide, improvements to second base, to right field, and as we know, the starting rotation. Now, it seems like the rotation is set right now, and to be completely honest, it's not all that encouraging. You look at the Giants' projected rotation right now: Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Tyler Mahle, Adrian Hauser, and Landon Roop. This entire group, including some of the depth guys in AAA, are projected to get just 10.4 wins above replacement this year, which is not great, if we're being honest. It's in the bottom third of the league. It is number 24th in baseball, so really being close to that bottom tier in Major League Baseball. The one good thing is that the San Diego Padres are actually below us. They are number 25, so they're right on our necks. But still, nothing too encouraging here outside of Logan Webb. You can see these projections really do think that Robbie Ray is going to experience some serious regression. They see him having 180 innings at a 4.2 ERA and accumulating just 1.6 F4. So Logan Webb, really the standout guy here for accumulating value to that rotation. The rest of the rotation in the 1 to 2 range, which is not too encouraging as we enter season where the Giants really needed to make some improvements if they were looking to contend in the National League and, of course, the National League West this upcoming season in 2026. Now, obviously, bringing in Freddy Peralta would be a huge upgrade to this group. We know what he's able to do on a yearly basis. He's coming off the best season of his career, a 2.7 ERA in 176 innings. Very, very impressive. He finished 5th in the Cy Young rankings, I believe, right below Logan Webb, who finished 4th. He accumulated 3.6 wins above replacement and was striking out 10.3 guys per 9 innings. Earlier in his career, he had more strikeout stuff, but still, when you're seeing that number above 10, at least 1 strikeout per 9, it is extremely encouraging. Only walking 3.3 guys per 9, which isn't necessarily great, but it's definitely not a concern when you're talking about that number. Not a huge ground ball guy, but you can get away with it if you're striking out north of 10 guys per 9 innings. It was a FIP of 3.64 this last year, and across his career, a 3.5 ERA in almost 1,000 innings. He's just been extremely consistent at the top of the Brewers rotation for basically his whole career now, which is extremely encouraging, talking about the fact that if you bring him to San Francisco, you are definitely going to be interested in signing him to a long-term extension, whether it's 3 more years, 4 more years, who knows. But it is encouraging that the Giants have shown interest here, and they are still looking for ways to improve the rotation, even though, as it currently stands, the rotation looks subpar when you're talking about contending in the loaded National League, especially after the Dodgers just signed Kyle Tucker, the Mets just signing Bo Bichette. So there is still work to do for the San Francisco Giants if they are truly, truly intending on competing this year in 2026. Now, just to tell you guys a little bit more about Freddy Peralta, what type of pitcher he is, heavy fastball guy. You see in the top left that fastball percentage. Early in his career, it was close to 80%. It's dropped a little bit, but it is still the majority pitch he uses, over 50%, 53.5%. To be exact, from this past year. It's right around 95 miles an hour right now, but it is an elite pitch. That's why he can ride it use it so often across an entire start. That stuff plus rating you see on the bottom left is right at 105 for his career, and it was the best of his career in 2025 at 108. He also features a slider, a cutter, or curveball, that are both above average. The slider, a 109 stuff plus across his career, and once again, coming off the highest rating of his career at 114. The curveball 106 last year, as a career 105. So his stuff is all above average, except for the changeup, which he doesn't use all that often. Last year it was the highest of his career at 21%, but prior to that, never using it, a close to 15% really. So not a huge pitch in his arsenal, but it is still a weapon he can whip out whenever he's trying to keep guys off balance or surprise them early in counts. Overall, his stuff plus for his career is 102. So we know that everything in his arsenal outside of the changeup is pretty comfortably above average. So that is encouraging when you talk about some of the guys in the Giants rotation don't necessarily have the stuff that, a lot of guys in Major League Baseball have. They're more pitch around guys, get a lot of ground balls, which the Giants love their ground ball guys. But it would be pretty refreshing to get a guy in Freddy Peralta who has elite strikeout stuff, overpowering stuff that he can go and get a strikeout whenever he needs to, late in games or, when he's in a tough situation, runners first and second. He can work around guys and use his stuff, like his actual stuff, to go out and get a strikeout. Now, overall, the Giants still have a lot of work to do with this team if they're looking to contend in 2026. Going and getting Freddy Peralta would be an amazing first step. We know that this rotation is lacking in terms of top-end talent. It's Logan Webb and then 4 guys who are looking to be, pretty average this year according to projections. Now, we know projections can be wrong all the time, but it is still not a great look when you're talking about Logan Webb being close to 4 or 5 wins every single season, and the 4 guys behind him have not necessarily been healthy or been very good across the entirety of their career. You hope Landon Roop takes another step. He looked good for the majority of last year. You hope Robbie Ray can replicate what he did in the first half of last year. Tyler Mahle, Adrian Hauser, both injury-riddled guys who are kind of question marks right now. Well, you hope that you get what they did in 2025 over a longer sample, but it remains to be seen what they'll be able to bring to the Giants rotation over the course of a 162-game season in San Francisco. Now, let me know down below what you think. Do you think the Giants should go all in, send the prospect patch to Milwaukee, and bring in Freddy Peralta for $8 million a year? It is a bargain for what he brings to the table at just $8 million a year. And then, of course, try to sign him to a long-term extension. Or do you think the Giants rotation is set and they need to look very hardly into the second base and right field market to improve the rest of the lineup and the rest of the defense? Let me know down below. But before we go, make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button. I've noticed 82% of you guys are not actually subscribed to the video or to the channel that are watching the video, so it's completely free. You go down below and hit that subscribe button, and you will not miss any of the Giants news for the rest of the offseason and as we get into spring training. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe.